Hi, as a technical producer of a YouTube show that we record on Riverside FM, which has a great feature of while you're doing your Zoom-like call, it uploads a perfect audio and video copy from each guest's computer or phone. So that way you don't have any glitches, you don't have any audio dropouts, the audio channels are all separated. But the problem is when people are a guest and they just use their computer, let's just say, then they will have two problems with their audio, which everybody should understand. And the first problem is if the other speaker's voice is coming out through their speaker, it's mixing in with their voice going through their microphone. And as the computer tries to separate them, you'll hear this warble sound, wah, wah, wah. And it's okay. Again, you can understand the person, but it's not good if you want to do a professional video production later on. If you want to edit the footage together for a good interview, you don't want to have that commingling of voices. You want each voice to be separate. So the way to avoid that, obviously, is to have some headphones. Now, the second problem is that no mic works well if it's far away from you. Even if it's a $10,000 mic, a cheap mic that's close to your mouth will outperform an expensive mic, many feet away every day of the week. And that's something everybody should understand. And if you ask any audio engineer, they will tell you the same thing. If you could have one wish, what would it be? Get the mic as close to the person as possible. Okay, so that's the second thing that many people don't have is an external mic. So I'm using this lavalier here, which I'm going to discuss in a second, and it's very close to my mouth. So even if there's a bunch of noise outside or my computer's humming, I'll be able to keep it to a minimum. Okay, so what is this? The cheapest, best setup I've found for anybody that wants to be a host or a guest on, let's say, Riverside FM. And it's this 5-pin USB. Sorry, there's of course these cables are forever pain. It's a 5-pin USB lavalier mic, and it's $18 or something like that. And right now it's connected to an extension cord, a USB extension cord into my computer. And this extension cord was $6, and I would recommend it to get this closer to you. So $6 extension cord plus this $18 thing, we're talking about $24. And then I bought a specific microphone, a headphone for it, which are like $11. So what it was 16, 6, 24, 34. So yeah, this is $35 worth of stuff. And then if you also want to use this with your phone, if you have an Android phone, then I got a couple of these for $10. So you'd get a couple of these. It converts the USB-A to USB-C. If you have these lying around, watch out. These might not work with the case of your phone. Okay, so how does this work? So again, I plug this into the USB of my computer. It has a built-in lavalier, which is right here. And then again, I bought these headphones because they're clear, and you see they're very sort of difficult to see, or they really just blend in. And they're only $11. They're meant for sports and running, but they're one of the few headphones that are clear. But you can use any earbuds you have lying around. You could use something like this, that you have lying around. It doesn't make a difference. Now with this setup, if I'm on Riverside, when my video is uploaded, it will be only my voice, because all the other guest's voice or the host voice won't be heard because I'm hearing them through my headphones. So this is the minimal setup everybody, in my opinion, should have, no matter what they're using. Now, generally, I have this $1,000 fancy mic setup, with the Electro Voice RE20 and the DBX28, but it's overkill. Most people won't be able to tell. I mean, everybody would hear the difference, but for legibility, there's no difference between the two microphones. So anyway, I'm going to show you now some footage using this microphone. And before I go into that, I also tried this mic. This is what's so frustrating about this stuff. So this is a similar thing to the 5-pin. It's a USB to lavalier with a mic with a headphone input, and it's 24 bits, so theoretically better quality, but for voice, 16-bit is totally fine. But the problem with it is that when I put in the headphones, it plays what I'm saying through my mic. I don't know why they designed it this way. It's a huge problem. So do not recommend this. But I guess I'm saying watch it. If you buy a piece of equipment like this and it doesn't work the way you want it to work, don't be sure it's your fault. This is a problem with this stuff, is that Microsoft, Apple, and Google do not put in any effort, in my opinion, to work with audio manufacturers to make it easy for people to set up external equipment. They're all like, we're going to do what's best for us, Microsoft, Apple, Google, whatever. And then if you can design equipment that work with us, fine, we don't care, but we're not going to worry about it. And it really annoys me to no end. So unfortunately, you have to just work around that. And when you get frustrated, realize it's just the nature of the beast. It is their fault. It is not your fault. This should be dead simple. There's no technical reason why these manufacturers can't create a unified type of API or drivers where whatever you plug in, it can separate, it can deal with easily. But they don't. What are you going to do? All right, so on to the sample videos. So here's the setup I'm using. Here's the Samsung S22 Ultra. I have a little thing that changes the USB-A to the USB-C. Make sure if you get one of these, you get a small one that fits within the case of my phone. This one, for instance, would not go past the case. So I think it is important that you get something that's... So this goes down to the 5-pin USB lavalier, which goes around into my hopefully you can see this, my lavalier here. And then this is into my headset.
Okay, this is test recording number 2. Max, what is this setup here you got?
I'm using the 5-pin USB lavalier mic plugged into my Android, my Samsung S22 Ultra Android phone, using a USB to a USB-C adapter.
That good?
Yeah, so like, even though you're a little bit low, I don't hear myself coming through the speakers, and so that's great. But this is a cheaper one, the 5-pin. Again, it's not super more expensive, but the more expensive one with the 24-bit had that problem where I kept hearing myself. So, yeah, I'll contact the manufacturer about it.
Yeah.
But this is good news. The good news is the 5-pin works both with the PC and my cell phone. So this is one I'll send. The cheaper one is what I'll send our guests.
Yeah. Well, is it a 5-pin?
Yeah.
That's a 5-pin. What's it called? Is that
USB
the 5-pin
lavalier. Okay, some final notes. I'm not trying to shill for 5-pin. I actually haven't found another sort of setup like they have, though you'd think you would, but I haven't. And I have found a few variations of the 24-bit, but they all say you can hear you can hear yourself through the microphone. You do not want that. It says, oh, you can hear yourself through the microphone. No, you don't want that. That's a bug, not a feature. And I also want to address these headsets. So when I first started doing this, I read some people and I saw them using them, and I thought those look great, and I bought them, and they immediately irritated the nonsense out of me because they're like cookie-like, and they just grab onto everything and they get tangled super easily. I just could not take them. I threw them in a box, and I used some Bluetooth headphones for a little bit, but I don't really like Bluetooth because I have to worry about charge, and then I used some others, or I just didn't care, and I just put these on. But eventually, for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm going to go back and try and solve this problem. Because now, by the way, these are not like audio quality. They do not sound good. So when I listen to recordings later on, they sound horrible. But they sound good enough to listen to the other person. So, and they're $11. So for that, they're perfect. But I think I have found tricks. I have been using these now for a month, and they're fine now that I've really disciplined myself to learn the tricks. And I figured I'd share them with you. So obviously you want to get them on the back of your head. And already getting tangled with this. So there's is the thing that says left and right. So I put the right and the left hand, and what I do is I put them behind my head, and there's a little cinch here. So you drag the cinch down, and then you put them around your head, and the thing is to like put in and screw in. So you see how the nub, so I put that into my ear. Let me see if I can see this probably. And then I screw it in like that. And then I do the same with the other way. Hopefully you can see this. I get this in, and then I screw this into my ear, in a sense. And then on the back, I pull up the cinch. So it's like close to my head, but not so much that if I turn it like yanks. Now the big problem is that you'll sit on it, or I'll grab on the chair and it'll pull, and it's annoying. So if you can, I'm not doing it here, but if you clip this part right here with like a clothesline clip or anything onto your back of your shirt, then if it does pull, it pulls onto the shirt first and doesn't pull into your head, and then that's usually okay. You'll feel it pulling and you'll pull back. So once I have it like this, as you can see, I mean, you can really barely tell that I have them on, and I don't need to use two. I can just use one. So that's my trick to using these. They're very frustrating, so right away I think learn to practice putting them on and off and on and off, and then they're great. I have no problems with them anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to put this in the video. The other thing I might add is a tip is get little baggies and put all your stuff in it, like put each cable in a separate little baggie. Otherwise all the cables get mashed together. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you have any comments, please leave them, and also check the description just in case I've learned something since this video. This is fast-moving stuff. Things are always changing. Yeah, I might learn tomorrow that I said something in the video that was wrong. So check the description, check the comments, and if anything is good in the comments, I'll put in the description. And thanks for watching.